This is not just my story. This is a story of millions of people share. This is my family's story, my parents' story. Millions of refugees around the world can relate to this. That, you know, even though you started somewhere, it shouldn't be where you end up or where you finish. My name is Elsh, and I'm a student at the University of Melbourne in the Doctor of Dental Surgery program, and I'm also a small business owner. I knew that if I told people that I was in dental school and I wanted to open up my own business, and I run multiple businesses simultaneously, particularly opening up my own shop, I knew they would look at me like I was crazy. Right now we haven't started renovating yet, but we'll begin that process soon. This came out of necessity, in my opinion. And why I say that is I moved here from Canada as an international student, and I got accepted this amazing opportunity to become a doctor of dental surgery and study at one of the best universities in the world, the University of Melbourne. However, I took a chance on myself because I knew coming here I didn't have enough money to finish school. I knew that I had to figure out a way to really make this happen and make enough to pay for my tuition and pay for my living expenses and things like that. And the opportunity really presented itself because I came here and I noticed a lot of people here in Melbourne love coffee. It's no secret that some of the best food in the world is here in Melbourne, and that people here have a very sophisticated palate. And I just saw an opportunity. Now, originally my background is Ethiopian. I know my uncle has a coffee farm in Ethiopia, so I started importing coffee. The beans are the same size, and you don't see a lot of defects. This tells you that this is very, very good, pure coffee, and the taste is going to be very consistent. This is grade 1 coffee from the highlands of Ethiopia. I teamed up with my current business partner here, who is actually from Melbourne. We basically, you know, would start on one end of the city and go all the way to the other end of the city, just distributing coffee to cafes, and they really liked it. But eventually, we knew that we wanted to scale up and do something bigger than this, bigger than coffee. And we figured, you know what? It's time for us to really have our own platform, be a part of the community as a dessert shop ourselves. We'll be hopefully opening up at the end of Q3, Q4. Exciting times. It's beautiful seeing something that belongs to you.
I honestly haven't met anyone who works as hard as him, who thinks like him, and can bring so much to the table in the 2 businesses that we've had that made it so successful. So I'm very excited to see where the future has in store for both of us and any other businesses we have.
I also have to juggle, you know, patients that I have, root canals, making dentures, and assignments and exams. So I'm really living multiple lives, if that makes sense. How do I balance these 2 things? I always look into my past. I was born and raised in a refugee camp. You know, my parents fled Ethiopia when they were teenagers. And, you know, they basically had to struggle to survive. They smuggled themselves into Kenya in the back of a cow truck. My mother sold her jewelry to buy tea leaves. And my dad sold their shirt off his back to buy a little kettle, some flour, and a little clay pot that they would make pastries and coffee on the side of the street. And they would really started their own little business just, you know, with nothing. So that kind of gave me that pride, that motivation to keep going. So yes, it's hard, but I came from a refugee camp where you had to struggle to survive. I think in general, we were born to do more than one thing. And I never wanted people to box me into one category. I want to really wear multiple hats. And what I mean by that is I want people to say, okay, he was a dental surgeon, but he was also an entrepreneur. In 2012, I was able to go to Ethiopia with my dentist, and I went there as just a volunteer trip, and I wanted to see my country for the first time because I was born in Kenya. And I actually got to go to the rural areas with him, and I got to actually see all the amazing procedures that he was able to do. All the little kids at that time were, you know, calling me doctor. And to me, that really warmed my heart because they saw somebody that looked like them, that spoke the same language as them, in a position to help them. And to me, it just clicked. And I said, man, representation really, really matters. That was when I had that, you know, life-changing moment that said, I want to be a dentist. And why not me? What's stopping me from using my own 2 hands like my dentist and being able to be a dentist myself? If you look at this picture, it's amazing because, you know, 1, you only have, I'd say, maybe 2 women here. 3. And 2, you can obviously see that it's just one demographic. Now you compare that to the class of 2022, which is, my class, and we're so diverse. Who would have thought, this kid from a refugee camp, this Ethiopian refugee, would now be walking these halls in this classroom today. This life is too short for you to only be one-dimensional. In Amharic, they say, "መጨረሻው ያሳምርልህ," and that's something my parents always tell me, like, may the end be beautiful. I think the end is going to be very beautiful for us.